Hello everyone, I'm Adam Papagan. Welcome to the ASMR Talk Show, the show that feels good to hear. ASMR is auto-sensory, meridian response, sounds, soft sounds that give you a little tinkle in the front part of your brain, and then we do an interview around that concept. So something I've been, life is always, it's a path to self-improvement. And something I'm always trying to work on myself is I'm kind of cheap. I mean, public access studio, come on. But I just can't resist a good deal. And I'm trying to prioritize my time and stuff. But if a deal comes around, it's tough for me to avoid it. So on the day of the filming, Amazon.com is doing some promotion where a bunch of restaurants have food for 1950s prices or something, and I thought, my first thought was, okay, I'll get up at 8 a.m., I'll hit Pink's, and then I'll go over to Mel's, and then I'll get all this food, which I could afford to get normally, but I'll get it for this discounted price. So then I was like, no, maybe just the one pastrami sandwich from Cantor's, So I get up early, go down there, line around the block, and this is where I think I've really made some progress, because the old me would have stood in this line for 2 hours to get this sandwich that I could buy for $15. But the new me, I was just like, you know what? I'll go to Cantor's tomorrow, just pay full price, not have to do the line. And then lo and behold, look on the phone, Carl's Jr. also having a special today with free Beyond Burgers. So the moral of the story is, if you have a positive attitude, you will find some deal. Your frugality will get hooked up eventually. Folks, my guest tonight is a multi-instrumentalist, multi-genreist, I guess you could say, Ceschi. How you doing, Ceschi?
Hi.
So, what's the derivation of the name Ceschi?
My name is Julio Francesco Ramos.
Oh, so it's like a nickname.
And my mother decided to nickname, she came up with a nickname when I was born.
Okay.
Francesco, Ceschi.
Because I could not figure out how to pronounce when I was getting this in.
Yeah.
I thought I had some deep.
It's the story of my life.
But I like it now that I know it's your real name.
Yeah, well, lifelong nickname.
But closer than,
Everyone in my family calls me that.
Yeah, it's not like you're Lil T or something.
Right. That'll be my next name.
Yeah. Have you had other aliases and stage names and stuff?
I was a graffiti writer for a long time, and I had many graffiti names. The first one being Otter when I was 10 till 15 or so.
What happened to Otter?
He eventually became Prol, Prol. Because I got really into Marxism, and so I wanted to write proletariat, and that was too long.
Yeah, because it's the cops are coming around the corner.
That's right.
Multi-syllable word, yeah.
Proletariat was just a little too difficult to do.
When did you start doing music?
I started
At age.
At age.
Point in your life. What was going in your life that led you to the?
I think
drop the graffiti.
Oh, you mean for a job or?
Yeah.
For,
what else was going on?
I always did music since I was a little kid, just messing around. But I got more serious in high school. I think we recorded a tape that we pressed on our own and would sell them at the shows. This is the mid '90s. So my brother and I put that out, and
your brother's your partner in your record label, right?
Yeah, we started the record label together in 2008.
Does he do music too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His name is David.
Got it. I thought it was he was the business, whatever. But do you guys ever do music together?
He's a drummer, and we've been playing music together since we were 13 and 11 years old.
And I was just at our last show, we had two sisters who are in a band together. We were talking about how a lot of bands have brothers in them that don't get along.
We get along pretty well.
Okay, good. Yeah. You're not
We're really close.
You're not like Oasis.
No, but that is hilarious. That's so funny.
Right. A lot of Jesus and Mary Chain.
Yes. True.
A lot of them. So, talk about, because your music is really like all over the place, like in a good way, just genre-wise and stuff. Kind of talk about, was that always the intention, or I know you're gonna say, well, I'm just into what I'm into and I do it, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
have you worked your experimental muscles? Are you getting better at experimenting?
I think so. In some ways, we used to do stuff with way more genres in it. It was a lot more like Mr. Bungle or something, like where we'd be doing like Latin jazz parts and then a hardcore section and then a hip hop section and whatever. It was just like we just threw everything we liked into the pot, you know. So.
And now it's maybe you're getting more of a style. Do you think? Like your
well,
Ceschi style?
the Ceschi music has its own style. I think its own sound. I wouldn't just do anything under Ceschi. It's more of like my personal writing. It's a lot of it's about the lyricism and whatever fits that for me.
Musically.
Yeah.
So when you?
But my latest record, which came out a week ago or something.
Yeah, I listened to it before the show.
That's all over the place as well. Yeah. There's really no rules, but it's about the concept of it's the record called Sans Soleil, and the concept of that is it's a dedication to everything that formed me as an artist, and friendships and relationships and influences, and so there are no rules really genre-wise for that.
But when you like decide, okay, this one needs a metal indie rock part or whatever, do you kind of like, well, to make it really sound indie, I got to use this setting, or I've got to use that guitar tone, or like, do you like put little references? Is it kind of self-aware?
I think everything. I think all art is somewhat self-aware. I think there are artists that are just purely doing it with no influence, but I think that's generally not the case. I think we all influence one another. So yeah, if I do a song on a guitar, I'm gonna want that to sonically sound a certain way. Like I don't necessarily like certain kinds of production. Compared, I like maybe something a little dirtier than a pop acoustic guitar sound, or
Yeah.
And when it comes to hip hop, for instance, maybe I want the drums to sound a certain way that, and that's all collaborative as well. But for sure, our influences I'm aware of the influences, and even I'm very open about shouting them out at times as well.
Or do you ever go like, oh, well, the last record had a Latin fusion part. I can't do that again.
Nah, I mean, if it makes sense for the record, I'll use it.
This latest record came out as part of, you have this trilogy coming out.
Yeah.
Would you call it a triple album, or is it three?
It's a trilogy. It's not a triple album. It's instead of all coming out at once, they're kind of speaking to one another. The first album's called Saphatlock, and it was my attempt in a lot of ways to make a pop album, but my attempt to make pop is not really all that pop, I've been told. So
who told you that?
That it's not that pop?
Yeah.
Friends who make pop music.
Shady.
They're like, nah, this is pretty. This is pretty weird. Sorry. So, then I wanted to deconstruct a lot of that and still shout out the first album with the second record, and that's what Sans Soleil is. It's sort of a lot of revisiting of song ideas from the first album of the trilogy. The third record is it wraps it up. So it although it is best to maybe listen to them all together eventually. You can listen to them independently. They're albums on their own.
Did you come up with this all at once? Like, oh, I need to do, like, were all these songs being written like in the same couple month period?
Not really. So the Sad Fat Luck record took a long time to put together. It was an EP at first, and then I had a stream, kind of like a manic art stream, when I started wrapping that album up, and I realized that it didn't fully represent everything I wanted it to represent. So that's why the second record I started working on the second record. At first I thought, oh, maybe I'll just do like a remix record or something of Sad Fat Luck, and it didn't work out that way. So that's when the concept to sort of revisit, and it's almost like a reanalysis of the same songs at points.
They definitely, listening to them, I haven't heard the third one yet, but it seems that they, like you say, they talk to each other, they have a same...
Yeah, they talk to each other.
They seem more similar than they are dissimilar, if that makes sense. Like, they seem of the same mindset. Like,
yeah, for sure.
What?
Sonically, they're quite different,
yeah,
though.
But
there's just like certain choices that we used on the second one that we wanted it to sound grimier in a lot of ways. Like, we made choices that made something that could have sounded really clean, distorted, or, we used songs that were really old from my catalog sorry, not from my catalog, but from that had never come out. Old songs that had never come out, to showcase kind of youth and kind of shout out youth. A lot of the record is a sort of ode to my upbringing artistically, so that's why I had a good space to use those songs in.
Prior to this, how often would you release a new album?
Every 4 or 5 years.
Oh, okay, wow. Yeah. So pretty big space in between.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like you're at like some kind of creative peak right now?
I feel like I'm wrapping up a project, actually. I feel like this is actually wrapping up my solo project. This trilogy is the end of it.
Of all of it?
Of the Ceschi.
What are you going to do next?
Let's see.
Get the Prol album, maybe.
The what?
Prol.
Otter comes back.
The Otter EP.
And I have some ideas. I kind of want to focus on group stuff more. I never really wanted to solely be known as like a solo artist and have like this career that was only that. It was more at a convenience. I could tour alone. I could play shows alone. It was a lot more convenient in many ways to just do solo stuff, but that's not all I want to be known for. I've never just done one thing, so.
Because a lot of people who start in groups, they want the solo career.
Yeah, I did it both.
I
did it both. I had bands.
And you think that I guess there's like a magic, for lack of better words, when you're playing with people. And
yeah.
It's...
I love the communal aspect of it. And
it makes more of a statement than like this guy has a laptop and he's...
Yeah, we even toured as a band on the last bigger U.S. tour, and I like the interaction with other people. It's super difficult in some ways, and I'll still do solo stuff always, probably. But
well, the good thing about being a solo artist is that you're your own. The only way it's gonna stop is if you stop.
Right. I really like the idea of
yourself.
I really like the idea of kind of ending projects, though. And artistically, it kind of makes sense to me. Like, instead of dying or just fading out, and I sort of wanted to curate the end of it. It was really an artistic decision.
I respect that, Ceschi. Saying, just, all right, it's very tasteful.
think so.
Yeah, that's good.
Some people are upset about it, I guess.
Well, it's like you're still gonna make music.
Yeah, I'll still make music, and it doesn't. My solo stuff isn't the only thing that'll define me, you know.
Yeah. You're from New Haven, Connecticut?
Yeah, I've lived a lot of places, but that's my home.
Do you know about this hamburger lunch thing?
Louis' Lunch?
Yeah, well, it's like the first hamburger.
Supposedly, yeah.
If anybody is not a burger expert like we are, maybe.
I'm not a burger expert.
But have you been to this place?
Yeah, I've never had it though, because I haven't eaten meat in 20 years.
That's long. Have you been vegan the whole time or just vegetarian?
Vegetarian, and yeah, I know about Louis, and I've been in there.
But you haven't had it.
I haven't, but I've brought friends there, and they really enjoyed it.
Okay.
They're boiled, I believe.
Yeah, it's a different kind of. It's apparently the first burger.
Yeah.
New Haven.
And it's like regular bread.
Right.
And
yeah.
You're not supposed to use ketchup or anything on it.
Have you been a vegetarian the whole time you've been a musician?
Yeah. Pretty much.
So what do you go on the road? What do you eat?
I mean, it's
Subway? Lots of Subway?
lots of Subway. Unfortunately, if you're in like Iowa or like, I always say Iowa.
Yeah, it sucks there. It sucks there.
I mean, there's just not that many places for vegetarians in the middle of cornfields, but it's getting a lot easier. But yes, we've had way too much Subway. And Denny's, because Denny's would have, vegan veggie patties and stuff like that. Like way back, and they'd be open till, open all night, so way too many nights at Denny's.
This is a sore subject, but I'm interested. You had some trouble with the law.
Yeah,
You got
Most
thrown
of
in
my
jail
life.
for. You got some drug charge or something, right? Am I getting
Marijuana.
So like a trumped up
I
charge.
don't know if it's a drug charge anymore.
When was this?
It was 2010.
Oh, so a little while ago.
Yeah.
Because it's so different. Isn't it amazing that
It's crazy.
it's people
And
still sitting in jail right now?
I went to prison for that charge in 2013.
Oh, so you went to prison, not jail. You were
Yeah, prison.
How long were you in for?
I actually had got it shortened because I was in a program that got me out early, but it was 4 months.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was the worst thing about prison besides that you couldn't leave?
It's just, no privacy, no, all the general things that we take for granted, like being able to shower in a room alone or go to the bathroom alone or not have cops stare into your asshole or whatever. I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It happens. People have to deal with it all the time.
Yeah. And just generally, like, so many personalities in a room. Lots of, sometimes it's hard to get along with everyone.
Did you have the same cellmate the whole time?
No, I got moved like 7 times throughout that ordeal.
You keep in contact with any of your cellmates, or is it?
At the end I was in a cube, or basically a big room with about 100 people, and we'd be separated by these little areas that were called cubes, and they're just like bunks in an area that's kind of split off, where it's like the size of a gym or something, and
it's just
I became
kind of open,
pretty
right?
close with those people in the cubes, and I'm still in touch with them once in a while. Some of them, like one of them specifically.
How'd you get busted for marijuana?
I got set up by a rat who was he was a mule who was driving cross country for a lot of people, and I was pretty much the target that he chose when he was busted to throw under the bus. That's how almost everyone gets caught. It's like just through rats and snitches.
So they're like, hey, we'll go easy on you if you give us.
That's also a
couple other
lie.
people.
Like cops will lie to the snitches and be like, "Oh, we're not going to give you any time at all if you give us everyone's name." That's a lie. Most of the time, they all do time, which is pathetic. People should really know that, actually.
That's actually.
You shouldn't. It's not smart to snitch, because then you're going to end all of your friendships, relationships, your partnerships, and you're still going to do time, probably. So,
And you ruin.
the cops will lie to you about literally everything. Anything, just to get the arrest. Because in court, they have no power. So you're basically, they'll say, we'll take your house, we'll kick your dog, we'll, take your wife. They'll say almost anything to get the arrest, because that's all they have the power to do.
Yeah, they can't talk to the DA and be like, oh, don't charge him with that.
No,
They're just cops.
Everything's done in court, and your power as a defendant is in court. And I got an 18-month charge in the end. That I took a plea bargain in the end, like most people, and I got an 18-month charge for that case. And because of programs in my state, because I did state time, not federal.
In Connecticut?
In Connecticut. There was a special program for people serving under 2 years that could go into almost like a drug rehabilitation house, and I had to do like NA and stuff like that. And I got out way earlier because of that.
But now can you like not play shows in Canada because you have like a felony
I
and
can
stuff?
actually now get back into Canada as of last year because of the law, their federal laws changing.
Oh.
Yeah, but I couldn't for years.
It's like if you have a DUI, you can't go to Canada.
Yeah, if it's recent, I don't think you can.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I couldn't go for like 5 years or something like that.
How'd you eat vegetarian in prison?
It was tough.
But
I
you
lost
still
a lot of weight there.
You still did it though.
Yeah, in the commissary you can get like peanut butter, bread, oatmeal. I ate a lot of oatmeal. Ramen is vegetarian, so I had
The spread.
You know about
the prison spread.
You know about like they'd make on the East Coast. They make mofongo, which is a kind of my father's from Puerto Rico. My mother's Italian, but mofongo traditionally is like it's a very traditional plantain dish, plátano dish in Puerto Rico, and there's so many Puerto Ricans in the East Coast prison that we actually speak in terms of Puerto Rican cuisine when it comes to prison food. And so what we call mofongo is pretty much like crackers and ramen made into a dough filled with whatever meats and cheeses and whatever you can squeeze, jalapeno squeeze cheese, whatever you can buy from commissary, wrapped up in plastic, heated up in some way. Sometimes just with boiling water. It's interesting. They call that mofongo. People would eat that every night because our dinner time is 4 p.m. in prison. A lot of times our breakfast time is 4 a.m. So you're starving by 8.
Yeah.
You got lights out at 10 or whatever. So most of the time they'd let you cook. I would have usually oatmeal and peanut butter.
Now we're almost out of time. We hadn't been showing your video in the back, but it's gone now. But it had a little ASMR thing in the video, right?
That's it's inspired by ASMR. Because for years now, when I had trouble sleeping, I would go down the rabbit hole of ASMR videos, and I thought it would be really interesting to dive into an ASMR actress's life. And it's a pretty creepy video that I wrote. Everything that she's saying and all of her words in the video are actually quotes by Emma Goldman, famous anarchist, and all that her husband, the character I play, all of his quotes are by Adam Smith. So
the Wealth of Nations.
I didn't really want to say that publicly normal at first, but I kind of want to, just want to put it out there. And now the video might make more sense to people.
Well, if, you are wrapping up Ceschi, solo artist, ASMR. Maybe just
ASMR.
get your ASMR, your own channel.
Yeah, maybe that's my future.
You can read
Otters ASMR.
graffiti with the
Graffiti ASMR.
the big pen, the big Sharpie on the. I think that would sound pretty good.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Can we get some big pins? Some big pins out here, please. All right, maybe
on paper.
Sure.
I think it's a really relaxing sound.
It's a fun genre to play around with.
Love it.
So
I once wrote to a thank you letter to an ASMR actress.
Oh,
it was really great.
All right, we got a pin here. Oh well,
That's not really the kind
it's
we
okay.
want.
All right, well, let's see. Was it an email or a physical letter?
It was an email.
Okay.
Yeah. I just never expected to do that in my life. I was just like, thank you for talking about your sociology class. I really enjoyed it. It got me to sleep. It's one of the creepiest things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, did she write back?
Yeah, she said, oh, thank you so much.
You're making people feel
I
great.
mean, you're writing to a 20-year-old ASMR actress at 5 in the morning. It's a low point in life.
But it got us this great video. Where should people?
And that's my friend Whitney
Okay.
from the band Days and Days. She's a great actress as well as musician.
Yeah, well, I really enjoy all your projects, and I'm interested to see where things go after this. Ceschi, thanks for coming on the show. Thank you all for tuning in. Till next time, this is Adam Papagan reminding you that there's a place you can go, and it's your mind. Good night.